Hi, I'm Janine, and this is Janine Sews. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about the American Sewing Guild National Conference that I attended a couple of weeks ago, show you two makes, and tell you about a couple of things that I'm going to make coming up. First, today I'm wearing Simplicity 8331, which is maybe my very most favorite summer top that I've ever made. I made this last summer, and the fabric is a cotton jersey that I picked up at Sew Over It in the UK about a year and a half ago. And it's a really nice bulky jersey, so it's shaped really well, and you can really notice that on the front ruffle. So I wear this at least once a week all summer. And the pattern is actually one of those cold shoulder patterns that everybody hates, but there's a sleeveless option too. So I'm going to post the information up here on Simplicity 8331. So this is just going to be a quick video today. I want to fill you in on the American Sewing Guild National Conference, which was a couple of weeks ago in Massachusetts. Weekend conference. There was a business meeting I had to attend. Then I went to 4 classes and I went through the Sewing Expo. I've got a little video of the Sewing Expo I'm going to show you, and I walked through and recorded, and then I sped it up, and I'm going to take off all the sound and just talk over it because there were like 150 women talking, and when you speed it up it's just hilarious. So I went to the conference and I took 4 classes. The first class was shortcuts for a Chanel jacket. I have no ambition of making a Chanel jacket, but I kind of like the shape, and I thought, well, I may as well learn a little bit about it. I did not know what a Chanel jacket was and how much work there is involved in them. So this class told you how to make a Chanel jacket completely on the sewing machine instead of hand quilting and things like that. So I'm intrigued now. I have one of the patterns. I already own one of the patterns that was recommended. I do have a piece of boucle that I've had for a couple of years, and I've just been hanging on to it. So I might give it a try. Don't know for sure. So that was a fun and interesting class. Then the second class I attended was with Janet Prey, who's quite a well-known sewing instructor, and it was on how to make a pant sloper. The class it gave you some ideas on how to measure to make a pant sloper. And I do have learning to make pants on my goal list for this year. So Janet gave us some ideas and then told us about different tools that we could use. So I bought a bunch of the tools, and this book, Pants Etc., Easy Pant Drafting and Personal Sloper. And this is actually kind of cool because it tells you, in the class sheet, told us about where you measure, and then you actually wind up drafting your own pant pattern just on a big piece of paper, and you wind up with something that fits you perfectly. So this came in a kit with Measuring Made Easy, which has, I don't know, some kind of special measuring tape, and a book where you can record and keep track of the measurements that are really important for fitting. So I thought that would be a fun little tool to have. And the third piece of the kit that I bought was a CD on easy pant drafting. So the class that I went to didn't actually tell us how to draft pants. She talked a lot about crotch curve and why that's so important, but mostly it was, here are the tools that you need to properly draft pants. The third class that I went to was on how to make felted wool beads for earrings. So this was just a fun class. It was a hands-on thing, which is nice to do on a Saturday morning. And we wound up making these little felted wool balls. Some of them didn't turn out as well as they could have, but it was fun. This is certainly like a little craft that I would do if my nieces ever came and visited and brought their kids or something, or maybe with a group of people. Have a glass of wine, make yourself some felted wool earrings. So that was fun. Then the fourth class was the most inspiring and exciting class for me. It was a presentation and trunk show by Sarah Gunn and Julie Starr. Sarah and Julie wrote the Tunic Bible, which a lot of people who sew have used to make their own classic tunics. They talked a little bit about how they define their style, how they come up with their garment and fabric choices, but looking at what they make and how they make beautiful things that fit their lifestyle is so inspiring to me. I saw Sarah speak right after I started sewing about 3 years ago, and I walked out and just wanted to go and buy the most beautiful fabric and take the time and care needed to make things that I really wanted to wear. So I kind of came away from that feeling like, you know, if I'm gonna make something, take your time, make sure it fits, buy either the best fabric you can afford or the most suitable fabric, not what's on sale. So that was kind of a really good class to end the weekend on. I could have gone to a whole bunch more classes and full day workshops, but I actually took my husband with me, and there's only so much hanging around the hotel that he can handle. But it was fun and it was worthwhile. And it got us out of hot Atlanta at the beginning of August. I did buy a couple of things there. I bought 2 pieces of fabric. Oh, so let me go back here. So they've got a sewing expo where they had a bunch of different vendors selling their wares, everything from sewing machines, quilting machines, fabric, notions. I'm going to show you the little video and I'll talk over it and tell you everything that they were selling. But I did buy a couple of things. There's an online fabric store that I've heard a lot of people talk about called So English, and buying knit fabrics online sometimes can be a little bit scary because you might wind up with fabric that's really lightweight, and it's, for me, I don't like really lightweight knits because they tend to accentuate every bump and jiggle and place that I don't really want to accentuate. So I like a nicer quality, not necessarily nicer quality, a heavier knit that'll kind of hide things. And So English had a ton of beautiful fabric. So I bought 2 pieces. The first is this. This is a double brushed poly. And I thought this was really cute for fall. The teal and the autumnal colors, and I'll probably make a long sleeve t-shirt with this. I got 2 yards of this. It was $7 a yard. Then the other piece that I picked up is this. I don't exactly know what you call it, but it's super soft and super stretchy. I think they said it was a brushed French terry. Anyway, 2 yards of this, and I'll probably make a Blackwood cardigan out of it. This is just soft, really soft. This is like baby soft. Oh, the other thing that So English threw in the bag, I should have thought of this before. This was just in the bag. It's a card with actual samples of the different knits that they sell and what they're called. So I'll know their nomenclature when I want to order something from them. So like this, there's this super plush, which is like a ponte on the outside, but it's really soft, like a sweatshirt on the inside. ITYs, brushed French terry. That's what this green is. This is a brushed French terry. But I'm definitely going to keep this. I thought this was more exciting than the fabric, I think. So I got this from So English, and I'll probably order fabric from them because I'm really happy with everything that I saw there. Then you saw the books I bought. Then I wandered over to Pamela's Patterns, and if you've watched my videos before, you know that I've made some of her things, and I did pick up a pattern for the perfect tank top. This is Pamela's Patterns 105, the perfect tank top, multi-sized, and you see it's got darts or not, depending on what size you cut, and then in the back you just make straps that you align the straps so that they fit over your bra strap and hide them. I've actually made this. I'm going to show this to you in a minute. But this is a nicely shaped tank top. It was very easy to put together, just sewing machine. I also used the serger and the cover stitch, but I'll show you what I made. Then the other thing I picked up there was one of these seam allowance rulers. I've been looking for one of these for a long time. So I'm just going to take a break here and I'm going to insert the video of the Sewing Expo. Hi, I am at the American Sewing Guild National Annual Conference, and I'm going into the vendor fair, which is where I get to shop. So I'm just going to take some video of this so you can see what we've got here. There are 400 and some people here at the conference. I went to a couple of classes today. I'm going to a couple of classes tomorrow, and I was in an all-day meeting yesterday. So just going to share with you what we have here. So we are in the vendor fair here, and around to the left, the first place was Needle Nook Fabrics. She calls herself the Bra Lady. All kinds of bra, underwear, kits. I've never made bras or underwear. I don't know if I have much interest. Maybe one day. But the kits, it was like 15 bucks for panty kits, and then there were bra kits as well. The bra kits were maybe $58 or $60 for the supplies to make 2 bras. So I just took a quick look at those and moved on because I don't necessarily want to go down that rabbit hole. Okay, we're going to do a real whirlwind tour through the expo area. There were maybe 30 or 40 little shops. Selkie sewing threads, quilting stuff, everybody who's on the pattern and sewing circuit. So Nancy Nix Rice, Janet Prey, Pamela Leggett, all the stuff that you normally find at sewing expos. Little tools, like these were hand-carved sewing tools, seam rippers, things like that. Then there was a company called Fit for Art, which I always see at Sewing Expo. It's nothing that appeals to me. I mean, if this appeals to you, then you are in good company because lots of people like their stuff. It's just not anything I'd make. Then around the corner, there was a shop with all kinds of trim, the stuff that's really difficult to buy online because either it's hard to find or it's really expensive to ship. So they were doing a booming business. I was excited to see all of the trim and the rickrack, giant rickrack that I have no reason to buy, but I just thought it was really cool. I did not buy anything. Then further down this aisle, there were some sewing machine companies. Every sewing machine manufacturer was represented there. There was a quilt guild from New England. Then at the end of this aisle, there was Mendel Fabrics from New York. I think it's called Mendel Fabrics. I'll make sure that the information is updated up here on the screen. This place, I've slowed down because they had amazing fabric. If you want to make a real Chanel style jacket, this is where you want to shop because they had gorgeous wools that were anywhere from $125 to $180 a yard. Now, the fabrics were beautiful. Not something I'd be eager to cut into at this point in my life, and I'm sure it's something that people think very carefully about. There were a lot of people looking at their fabrics. In addition to the bouclés and the wools, this is I think that was a wool there. Some of this I'm sure is maybe a wool silk blend. They also had some beautiful viscose, which was not as expensive, maybe $90 a yard, maybe a little bit less. And then they also had the silks that you would use for lining your Chanel jacket, and they were $125 a yard. Of course, you would want to get enough to make a blouse or a shell to match your jacket. And then we went back over to So English, which is where I did most of my shopping. They're prepackaged fabric, 2 yards for between $15 and $20 a yard. This is more my speed. So that was the expo experience, and it's a lot like Sewing Expo if you're in the States or Canada and you have a Sewing Expo that comes to town. But this, I would say 90% of the people that attended sew garments. I could be wrong there. I'm guessing 90% of the people that were there sewed garments, because most people were looking at garment fabric. I got some cards from different places that seem to have really nice quality fabrics, and I'll be looking them up because I like supporting small businesses. So since then, I have made just 2 garments, and I'm going to show them to you. The first, I'm going to put it up on which side am I on? I'm going to put it up on this side. The first is a second version of the Simplicity t-shirt dress. I made this in a Pucci print in June, and then I made another version. This is Simplicity 85.95. It's a simple t-shirt dress. It can be cold-shouldered, sleeveless, or have short sleeves and various lengths. This is the back of the pattern. It's very simple. No darts, sleeves, front, back, neck binding. That's it. I made a size large in this. I wear a 14 on the bottom and a 14 to 16 on the top in ready to wear. And a size large is very comfortable for me. This is not really close fitting. So I made it in an ITY that I bought at Fabric Mart about a year and a half ago. And normally I don't hang on to fabric that long, but I really thought this was such a pretty print. Green stained glass, green, black, and white. So I made another t-shirt dress, and this time I added the elbow length sleeves from Pamela's Patterns pleated flowy back tee, because I liked the elbow length sleeve as something different. The dress went together super easily, even though our air conditioning was out last weekend and it was 90 degrees in the sewing room. It was a painless sew. So I made that. Then I had plenty of fabric left over because I had bought 3 yards of fabric from Fabric Mart. So I decided to give Pamela's Patterns perfect tank top a try. This is a nicely shaped top. It really skims your body. And again, I cut a large in this. When I made the pleated flowy back tee for Pamela's Patterns, I cut a medium. For this, I cut a large, just because that's how the measurements worked out for me. I had a little trouble with the neck binding because I didn't follow the instructions properly. So I didn't follow Pamela's instructions for the neck binding. I just did it the way I would normally do it, where I fold the binding in half, stitch or serge it onto the edge of the neck, then flip it over. And that's not the way I should have done this. So the neck binding doesn't lie completely flat. The other thing I didn't do is I didn't get any help when I was placing the straps on the back, because what you do is you baste the straps, the front straps on, and then the back ones, you pin them to make sure that they cover your bra strap. Well, I just figured I could do it on my own, and I did it okay, but one strap is like an inch shorter than the other. Nobody's gonna notice. I'm gonna wear this under a jacket most of the time. I will definitely make this again, but the next time I'm going to make the straps a little wider at the back so that I have more coverage and I don't have to worry about something slipping. And I do think for me that depending on which bra I wear, the straps may or may not cover the bra straps. The top straps may or may not cover the bra straps. Okay, so I just want to interject here. After looking at the video that I just made of me wearing this top, I had no idea how much I missed the bra straps. So, and also that you can tell that the straps aren't even. But, you know, first effort. I'm gonna have to learn to ask people for help in fitting. But it'll be fine. I'll wear it underneath a jacket, and I'll do better next time. So I have a couple of projects I'm going to do really quickly. I want to work on trousers. So that's going to take a lot of my energy in the next little while. But before I start on that, looking at my closet, I am really, really, really bored with everything I have. So I've got a couple of pieces of fabric that I'm just going to sew up into quick little tops. The first is this nice art gallery off-white cotton knit. I have 1 yard of this, so I will make a deer and doe plantain, which is my very favorite t-shirt. This will be version 9 or 10. And I will make this with elbow length sleeves. I'm all about elbow length sleeves these days. Then I bought this fabric a year ago, and I made my mom a top, but I have enough to make myself a top, and it's just so pretty. It's not autumn colors, but it's a beautiful thick knit, so it hides everything. So I think I will make probably, I've got a couple of different patterns that are elliptical shaped tees, and I have plenty of fabric here. I have 2 yards of fabric here. So I'll probably make something like that. The other thing I could do, I could make one of these and a t-shirt. So I just wanted to fill you in on the National Conference for the Sewing Guild. I am a member of the Sewing Guild. I'll give my one and only little pitch for it. If you live somewhere where there's a Sewing Guild chapter, it's really nice because you kind of have built-in sewing friends. And I didn't know anyone who sewed here when I joined the Sewing Guild, and I've made some friends, and it's nice to go somewhere where you can talk to people about sewing. But not everybody has a Sewing Guild near them, which is why we all do all these things online. So that's it for today. I want to really thank everyone who's watched my videos, everyone who's subscribed, everyone who's commented. I can't tell you how much it means to me, and I really appreciate it. Thank you again for watching, and have a great week. I will see you soon.